Ryota follows straight behind me, announcing my appearance with a loud crow. And the delinquent arrives at last. He pushes up his sleeves as if he's getting ready for work, tossing his keys and phone out of the desk, probably in an effort to unburden himself for whatever he had planned. I stop abruptly, my eyes roving frantically across the classroom, searching empty space. There, huddled in the back corner of the room, are three desolate figures, each tied firmly to their chairs. One of them, with streaks of orange hair shining softly in the scant moonlight, is Rui. For a moment I see nothing else, my eyes fix on her and my throat closes. Happy? I shuffle forward, a choke whimper tearing out of my mouth before I can stop it. It's only after seeing her that the wave falls, that I realize how long it's been since we've last spoken, that I realize how much I missed her, that I remember what life was like without her. I brace my hands against the desk to keep myself from collapsing bonelessly to the ground, forcing slow and steady breaths into my lungs. Still alive and before my eyes. She screams something muffled against her gag and kicks the wall. The abrupt noise stops me in my tracks. Oh, it seems the damsel is in distress wants to share some lovely little words. Clearly amused, he stands to his feet and swaggers over to the chairs. In one fluid motion, he flourishes something from the teacher's desk and holds it high in the air. A knife, threaded and sickly, the blade glinting coldly at the edges. With a jolt of panic, I leap forward. Don't. He slices down. Time freezes. The tip of the knife whisks forward and over, straight towards Rui's skull, searing the air below in two, and at the last possible moment pulls back and neatly shreds the knot of her gag. The claw flutters elegantly in the air, coming to rest on the linoleum below. I force a rag breath as Ryota scratches. Okay, the look on her face. Priceless! Priceless! I slump against the desk, my relief too great to allow room for anger. Instead, I stare at Rui, her eyes, her hair, a tip of her nose, letting the memorized image remind me of home. Comfort, teasing, loud Christmas dinners, and scented cuddles at the town festival. Whispered inside jokes, elbows in the ribs, playing make-believe like two idiots. Rui. What the hell are you thinking, Yama? Why would you come here? Her voice changes octaves with every syllable, and her eyes are full of tears, but despite her terror, she's only worrying about me. I clear my throat and croak something incomprehensible, then try again. You're okay. But for long. Why didn't you just stay home? Because I couldn't leave her to die. Because I had to do something. I guess I got lazy, at being lazy. She snorts out a choke laugh, something almost frenetic, as if she didn't mean to laugh, but she couldn't help it. Well, there's a surprise. She sends me a weak smile. I turn to Ryota, who only smiles lazily in response. You see, I'm good for it, so very accommodating. You won't find an executioner of my tier anywhere else in the world. Executioner skill for purpose. Executioners are given targets by other people. Is it possible to get any information out of him? Executioner, you mean a glorified hunting dog? So I say with an attempt in a cold, flat tone, but to my dismay, my voice cracks. This only seems to heighten Ryota's glee. Hunting? Oh no, hunting is meant for practical purposes. Hunting is for the meat, or the hide, or the money from sales. I like to think of myself as a gardener, pruning that wave so the branches with actual promise can grow. My idea is my employer, my ego the employee. And don't think I don't know what you're doing. Scrapping for time won't bring the police any closer, boy. Do you realize that you sound... No more provocations. It's time for school to begin its sessions. He abruptly pounds the handle of this knife against his desk, blasting my ears with the sudden sound. My heart instinctively jumps into my throat. He snickers quietly at the shock that must be evident on my face. Welcome, class! Hate to say it, but you're now in a remedial session. Suffice to say, you all screwed up in a big way, and it's my job to whip you back into shape. How I hate it, but someone in this naughty little elementary school has to smack the hands of the naughty ones. He suddenly whips to me, his eyes blazing fire, pointing the tip of his knife right at my chest. You, why aren't you sitting down? I sit down, throat dry. Ryota's shoulders immediately relax. Good, that's exactly how I like it. Now Ishimoto, is it? Since you came in late, you get to be my special assistant. My body goes cold, my eyes immediately turn to the knife. Ryota, reading my intentions, chuckles. Oh, don't look so scared, boy. You'll help me in discipline. Sounds like a much better position to be in, doesn't it? Relief courses through me, and I hate myself for it. I'll give you a little choice, boy. Listen carefully, because it's an important one. Each of us needs to discipline someone else. That's a given. This is a remedial class, after all. But I'll give you two fabulous options out of the goodness of my heart. Either my discipline will be darling, little Rui, and yours will simply be that plastic class skeleton, or both of us will work on those other two students. Other students, since when were... Alright, the two strangers sitting by Rui. I look to the back of the room, sizing up their figures. The first is a girl, the second a boy. I don't recognize either of them, but they look young, maybe in their first year. They're speechless, but even from where I sit, I can see the sweat rolling from their temples and dripping onto their necks, and their knees are clearly shaking. Both of them absolutely terrified, innocent bystanders, pulled into this sick, dastardly game. Rui is next to them. Unlike the others, she's completely still. Eerily so, like she's been turned into stone. But when I meet her eyes, I see nothing but tears of fear in her eyes. She's ungagged. In a different circumstance, she would have volunteered immediately in order to save the other two students. She would have been brave and fiery and everything the world knows her for. The fact that she isn't saying a word tells me just how scared she is. My eyes drift back to Ryota, who only tilts his head, the knife twitches in his hand, and I suddenly piece everything together. He's a discipliner, I'm a discipliner. Whatever he's planning on doing, I will have to copy. If he breaks bones, so must I. If he saws through limbs, so must I. And if I don't, then all of us will be killed, right here, right now. Because the only thing keeping him playing along is me. I could pick the class skeleton, I would only have to maim plastic, stop on plastic, break plastic, everything will be safe. But then Rui being in the hands of Ryota and watching Rui get hurt, I don't think I could bear it. I came here to save her, letting her die in Ryota's hands. No, there has to be a different way. But then what? The other two students. That's two lives instead of one. Two bodies instead of one. Objectively, it's the worst decision in every way. Ryota knows this because he knows me sometimes better than I know myself. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The ultimate trade-off. I can't give up Rui, I just can't. But forcing two other students to suffer, just who do I pick? Alright. I know a lot of people may suggest that this is a hard choice. But let's face it, this is actually for this guy, actually that would be easy choice. Let's say it. We are going with two students. I tried to speak, but it comes out as a croak. Desperately, I clear my throat and try again. Let's work on the other two students. The reactions are immediate. Ryota's face lights up in a maniac smile. Rui's jaw drops. The other two students explode. You bastard! You damn bastard, I believe you! Please, don't hurt my sister, don't hurt me! This makes me freeze. Brother and sister. I suddenly watch as Ryota gleefully skips over to the chairs, dragging the two students over. Rui grasps breathlessly. Brother and sister, the cruelty will never end. I swear, if you lay one finger on my brother... Ryota stops abruptly. The momentum throws the girl against her ropes, temporarily choking her into silence. Isn't she just so darling? I picked her out specifically for you, boy. Did you? Oh yeah, and she gets to be yours. My mind runs blank as the girl glares at me, hate burning clear in her eyes. You're disgusting. And I say nothing. It vaguely dawns on me that I should direct her anger at the serial killer, and the psychopath who orchestrated this entire thing. But can I really? They still had hope. Hope that they would go unscathed, that only one person would have to suffer rather than two. I crushed that hope, the last hope that they ever had. And now they'll die for it, agonizingly, with nothing but despair. Instead, my reply is automatic and empty. Sorry. I fully expect her to spit in my face, but she only turns her head away. Hisao, look at me, Hisao! The terrified boy locks eyes with her, face dosed in a mixture of tears and sweat, goddamn, sweat of course. You'll be okay, it will be okay. Do you understand? It won't be. It will be okay. I look at Ryota, expecting him to slap her into silence, but he only leans against the wall, grinning like he's having the time of his life. Of course, he must be having a field day. The pleasure of pain brings him more joy than death itself. I get a sudden urge to laugh, and I don't know why. Yama. The airy voice from the corner reminds me of Rui's presence. She's staring quietly at the scene before her, face bleached white. You're not going to hurt her, are you? Guilt, terror, regret, anguish. We must both be feeling their full effects. Close your eyes, Rui, better, yeah. She stifles a quiet sob. I turn to Ryota. Now that everything's set up, I need you to untie-Rui. You know I can't do anything to you while you still have that knife, and neither can she. And neither of us will leave the other person die either. Only because you're the teacher's pet, boy! He stalks over to Rui's chair and cleanly slices at her bones. She promptly clasps her hands together, breathing deeply. Don't run, Rui. We'll kill both of us. I won't. I turn back to Ryota, hands sweaty against the fabric of my jacket. So, what are the rules of the game? Oh, it's quite simple. He strides behind the teacher desk and pulls something out underneath. My heart drops. 2 metal pipes, around 3 feet in length, rough around the edges. He rolls onto me. I automatically stop down and pick it up. We'll take turns inflicting blows on our disciplines, good solid blows that make a nice musical sound. The first discipliner who knocks out or kills their discipline loses. The toy bows at this point, even the girl is shocked into silence. The first person to fall unconscious means a loss, which means I have to inflict pain without the promise of comfort. If I want to win, or at least not lose, each blow needs to be felt by their conscious mind. And in that moment I'll be just like Ryota. Oh, don't give me that face, boy. Be glad I didn't pick the knife. I mean, I'm pretty tempted to, but then you'd probably lapse, and that's just boring. Something like this needs to be remembered. So, are we ready to begin? No, I'm certainly not ready. I'll never be. Oh, I shift the pipe in my hand, feeling its weight. It's hefty, sturdy, could easily break bones, probably shatter a skull. And it's in my hands. I'll go first, watch and learn. He stands over the boy, gripping the pipe tightly in one hand, keeping the knife in the other. I watch transfixed, even while everything in my brain is screaming for me to turn away and close my eyes. The boy whimpers quietly, eyes wide, squirming about the crude ropes that bind him to his chair. Ryota smirks quietly at him and ruffles his hair. Not gonna lie to you, this is gonna hurt like hell. No! Ryota raises the pipe painstakingly slow, revealing in the drama of the moment. I might have laughed if the situation wasn't so sick. Okay. This is... Okay. I'm guessing that pipe is pretty heavy. Maybe not very heavy, but you probably wouldn't be able to... like, give enough pain that a crazy serial killer would want to give, like himself. So basically he probably needs to hold it in both hands. So that means he would need to hide the knife in, maybe not pocket, but maybe he has had some kind of belt or something that you can put. There is something like that, right? If you've seen any cooks, you would see that they have like this special belts that you can put the knife and so on. So maybe he has that thing. So basically, the moment he tries to hit someone, you hit him in the face. Actually, that's what I would do, probably. Despite the panic. Okay. 3, 2, 1! He whips the pipe down, but when it's just an inch away from the boy's kneecaps, he stops. Sigh. The boy releases a great shuddering gasp, shoulders dropping in relief. Then, without a moment of hesitation, Ryota lifts the pipe and breaks it down. Crack goes bone against metal, and the air splits from the impact of a horrifying agonized scream, punctuated by a shrilly scratch of metal as the base of the chair grins against the ground from the force of impact. The boy is still screaming as Ryota steps back, an impression that I've never seen before dawning on his face. Ah, beauty, true beauty, how poignant is your stink! He giggles quietly to himself as the boy writhes against his chair, leg forced into an awkward angle. Damn it! This can't go on. I dice it quietly through the empty shock as my fingers tighten around the pipe. I can't let this go on. Is there a way to outthink the situation, anything at all? When it's needed most, my mind fails me. Well, your turn, boy! 4 students, including me, 4 lives at stake. 2. Trust in the middle of terrible suffering. I originally came with the intention to just grab as much time as I possibly could. I thought I could prevent a death, maybe 2. But there is no sign of the police, not even the slightest indicator that they will come at all. And now, death is looking like the best option. To buy time, I'd have to draw out this game, causing as much pain to this girl as she can bear. While the boy suffers beyond description, and if the police don't come, we will still end up dead. I can crack this girl's skull, give her a merciful end, and then I lose, and Ryota unleashes his knife on the rest of us. Or, if I move really fast, I can maybe put an end to both her and her brother, in which case it would only be down to Rui and me. No, Shigure said she would come, she swore she would come. She said, she promised, she told me... Stop darling about boy, we haven't got all day! Attack Ryota. I don't think he has enough power to attack him. I can stall. Alright, let's stall. Pipes, don't think it's a little, I don't know, dated? Just because something is old-fashioned doesn't mean it's bad. Stall? I don't see what you mean. Sure you do, never been an avid fan of change, have you? Stall. So, you're saying that I'm stuck in my ways. We all have an natural tempo, nothing wrong with that. Stall? That's certainly a positive outlook. I know what you're trying to do, kid. Cut it out, make your choice now. Shit. I hate doing this. But seriously, I would attack him. Really, I would do that. I believe I would do that because yes. I can't explain it, but I feel like if I had been in such a situation, I would do that this way. Even if it's a stupid idea, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work in the game, so... It seems like everything the only is to go with the flow. I don't think we step forward, Clank is turning behind us as I raise the pipe. Shigure said she would bring the police. Shigure needs to be by me to buy time. Buying time means abiding by the game, drawing it out, pain without mercy, conscious damage. Yama, please. Close your eyes. The voice that comes from my mouth is cold and blank, nothing like my own. I keep my eyes open as I swing the pipe down, knowing that I only endanger the girl further if I close them. I see the pipe descend. The girl's eyes widen. I see... The vibration, it's good I don't see that. The vibration rocks from the tip of the pipe up through my arms to my eyes, which rattle in their sockets. I feel the impact of her arm giving way beneath my own hands. Something in me, something I hadn't known was there, sinks away into the shadows, gone forever. The girl gasped for breath as her brother burst into tears. No! A brother, a sister, doomed to die. I step back, hands shaking uncontrollably. Ryota only throws back his head and laughs. Oh yes, yes, that's it! I was worried for a moment, you know, thinking that you'd pansy out. But you mean business right now, don't you? There must be something, some other way, some advantage, something that doesn't all this. I still myself, keeping my eyes fixed on the girl before faking shock. Maybe I can't say that I'm really faking. Meanwhile, I let my mind cast about the room, mentally recalling every sensory memory that it's shelved away as I enter the classroom, searching for some miraculous solution. The door sprang open beneath my touch as I stepped in the classroom, my figure enveloped in the nighttime gloom. Ryota stormed behind me, letting every footstep vibrate through the floor, up the doorframe, into the foundations of the building itself. He was enjoying himself, maybe a little too much. He was waiting for this moment, I think. The student that he'd carved the pieces might have pleased him temporarily, but this night, this would be his magnum opus and he'd want to live it 1,000 times over. He grinned with confidence as he cupped his hands around his mouth. And the delinquent arrives at last! I shuffled further in the room, squinting in the darkness of the furthest corner, my breath shallow and my palms sweaty. In the meantime, Ryota pushed up his sleeves and tossed his keys and phone on top of his desk. That was when I saw Rui. Wait. Tossed his keys and phone on top of his desk. There was one thing that I'd overlooked, the mole in the police. No matter how quickly and secretly Shigure might act, there is still a high chance that she will be found out. After all, it only took a few minutes for that mole to relay the news to Ryota. This time shouldn't be any different. Any time now, a phone call could warn Ryota, tell him to get away, and that would be the end. It doesn't matter if I manage to distract him with this game. It's not like he will ignore a phone call from his accomplice. Alright, so that's how you do this now. You position yourself so the desk is behind you. You make a swing and somehow the pipe goes to the phone, hits it, and it gets broken. I know it's not an easy thing to do. Not an easy thing to do, really, but it might work. Okay, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. In that case, I need to get rid of this phone. I have a pipe in my hands and I'm just a step away from the desk. Yeah, okay, so you are a step away, so swing! Whoops! The main problem is breaking without Ryota noticing, or if he does notice, he won't think that I'm knowingly sabotaging him. Hello, Yama Ishimoto. What is that little... What is this a little too much for you? My voice catches and squeaks, which makes me sound exceeding helpless. That's a good thing. Ryota giggles quietly, but his eyes are narrowed. This must be a little rough, huh? Do you feel like you're hitting your poor sister? I won't worry, she's already dead, you know that. I grip the pipe tire, my knuckles whitening with pressure. The rough edges of the metal start to cut in the palm of my hand. I welcome the anger, the panic, the helplessness that's swirling through my blood, gathering it into the one tangled ball of black emotion. I must deeply sorry for your kids, huh? So, would you rather hit that boy? Shut up. Yama, please, don't listen to him. Come to think of it, maybe you'd have some fun if you had the boy. You'd finally get an outlet for all that self-hatred. Yama, he's just trying to get to you. You can fight it. Shut up, you bitch! With frightening speed, he bounds across the classroom and seizes Rui by the hair, yanking backward until her neck is at a natural angle. No, phone! Ah! Phone! You know, I liked you at first, but now you're just a little yapping dog. I should slit your throat right now. Feed your esophagus to the brat over there. He gestures to the boy who's fastened to the chair. Rui makes an instinctive whimper deep in her throat. Do we have an understanding? Yes. Do we have an understanding, you bluffering whore? Yes. Something clogs in my brain and all my emotions drain away until I feel like an empty automaton. You shouldn't have touched her. My vision blurs with rage as I raise the pipe with both hands and my arms shaking. Cold. Everything feels so cold. The edges of my lips pull up into an unbidden smile as a fleeting vision passes before my eyes. Ryota's body, battered and broken at my feet, waiting for me to make an imprint. I seize the vision, even as the deeper part of my mind shrinks away in horror. I let it control me. You shouldn't have touched Rui, Hayata. I slap the pipe down with as much force as possible. The metal pulses against the floor with an air-splitting crack. Splinters of something white and shiny shoot away from the point of impact like a spray of bullets. The boy and the girl shrink back in their chairs, staring at me with wide eyes. It's irrelevant. Get away from her. I let my voice increase in volume. I let it shake. I let it step with madness and fury. Ryota steps back inadvertently. Not out of fear, but out of surprise. He almost seems pleased with my transformation. But I think he destroyed the phone. I lunge forward, my voice exploding shrilly out of my throat. Get away from her, or I'll kill you! I start swinging the pipe madly, like an unbalanced marionette on a string, letting the ends swivel into desks, chairs, walls, anything. I rush at Ryota, but he nimbly waves between the desk and tightens the grip on his own pipe. My pipe passes within an inch of Rui's face as I whirl around, bowling in Ryota's direction towards the desk. I vaguely register a look of open horror from Rui, but I flick it away from my mind like a gnat. I lunge at Ryota with a full force blow, swinging down, letting out a vicious scream. And just as I was hoping, Ryota is startled by my sudden burst of energy and instinctively dodges to the side instead of blocking my blow. My pipe slices downward and splits the polished surface of the teacher desk, sending shards of wood flying. The impact rattles up my arms and into my skull, but most importantly, I've hit Ryota's phone dead center. It shatters into the new pile of rubble, the resulting crackle masked by the destruction. I don't dare to take a pause. I can't celebrate a small victory. Instead, I let my anger fester and take hold of the pipe in my hands. I'll kill you right here, Ryota! I swing again at him and he steps back, adjusting the grip on his pipe. He's getting ready to counterattack. The momentum in my arms carries my weapon straight into the wall, sending the plaster cracking. I let loose a scream of frustration, something that rips my throat raw and ricochets against the broken wall. From the corner of my periphery, I can register Rico clasping her hands. Yama, please stop!
Is that the best you've got here? You still haven't landed a single hit on this old man?
I don't let myself think. I just swing the pipe unblinkingly at his head, knowing what it won't hit. And Ryota drops down just as I expect. His eyes widen with glee, and he swings his own pipe with one hand, and... Ouch! My stomach suddenly launches back against my spine with a piercing hammer of agony. Good job, Yama. Seriously, some old geezer beat you up. I'm sent sprawling to the ground, and Rui is screaming faintly in my ears. Yama! And then the coldness, the numbness, the emptiness, it all melts away, and I suddenly feel weary, like every footstep is being pulled through mud. The ball of pent-up aggression in my gut is replaced with a pounding soreness from the impact of Ryota's pipe. For a moment I let myself lie there, splinters of wood and plaster pricking through my back. It would be so easy to just close my eyes and sleep. Let this whole world drift away.
Get up, boy, game's not over yet. Unless you mean to forfeit.
That's right. I can't forfeit because there's other lives on the line. That's what I came here for, to help these poor other people, to save some lives. I start to push myself up, but my abdomen clenches in pain. I gracelessly fall back to the ground, my back stinging from the tiny daggers of fragments embedded into the ground.
So, no forfeit. Pity.
I turn onto my side and try again. This time I lean on the other remains of the desk, cradling an arm against my aging stomach. Where was that energy from a split second ago? Why am I suddenly so tired? I guess that I tend to charge ahead when I have a purpose, and without that purpose I just run on a broken engine. I needed to break the phone. Now I've broken it. What's left? Wait, how long? When will Shigure come?
Good play, boy. I see what you're trying to do.
My veins fill with breath, and it takes every ounce of self-control for me to not cast a glance at the buried phone.
Unfortunately for you, noise isn't an issue. You can throw a tantrum all day, and no one will hear a thing. The new curfew keeps kids in the dorm cart, and no one's gonna take a stroll around the classrooms when they could be playing football in the common room.
I don't have energy to respond. I don't even feel my face move. Gradually, the cold, welcoming emptiness in my mind is dissipating, replaced with a creeping sense of utter. Utter what? Something dark, black, something that feels like it's squeezing my temples and smothering my nostrils until I can't breathe.
Well, that was an interesting intermission. Must be my turn again, no?
He waves the pipe casually in his hand, like he's adjusting his hold on a baseball bat, and lifts it over his shoulder. I only register his words when he steps forward, sidling closer to the boy's side. Suddenly past the bolt of pain in my diaphragm, I'm screaming. No! I automatically close my eyes at the moment of impact, but that doesn't make the crunch of his collapsing bone any less loud. Ryota struck the boy's hand this time. I give my eyes off of it, scared at witnessing damage for myself, but judging from the boy's shocked stare, it's just as bad as it sounds. Please don't hurt him!
I wouldn't worry if I were you. You'll be getting your fair share of the pain.
She groans at this, loud and anguished, bubbling in her throat like a cloud of blood. Breaking the phone wasn't enough. There has to be more, something else I can do. Are you enjoying this? I flutter as my mind scrambles for something more adequate.
Yeah, well, yeah, I am. Thanks for asking.
And you even enjoyed the previous student?
Yeah, they were alright, but this little show has been the best by far. It's like playing chess against a toddler versus playing chess against a rival. One just doesn't bring that satisfying challenge, you know? I can't feel good about pulling a checkmate on a little kid who's not even potty trained.
He's becoming more talkative, taking his focus off of the game, even with just a little bit. I says this with desperation. Maybe they were more of a challenge than you thought. I figured you out just from the clues that they dropped. At this bold claim, Ryota tilts his head like a broken doll. I see the deranged gears in his head picking up speed over so slowly. Because Ryota doesn't like games with only pain, suffering, injury. Ryota likes to think. Ryota is intelligent. He would look for a battle of wits just as readily. Even this pipe game, it's a twisted mix of sadism and psychology, his mind clashing against mine, trying to make me succumb to these methods. Maybe there's a way to pique his interest and bring the floor back into balance. It's the last hope I have.
You always were a sharp kid, weren't you? I had high expectations for you, but you've exceeded every one of them. You deserve a gold star.
I hope you know that the gold star isn't exactly a great incentive at the moment.
But I read that positive reinforcement is better than punishment, particularly when it comes to children.
To be fair, I've always thought of it as a ruse. Punishment gets results. You just need to look at history to realize that. It's because of whips and taskmasters that the ancient pyramids and the great terracotta army were built. Meanwhile, what has modern humanity done? Skyscrapers. What beauty do those hold? They are glorified prisons, cages of metal and glass, meant to trap in pathetic little animals. Is that what you consider success? Building something big? Some people just prefer happiness.
Happiness? What a subjective measure of reality. At least impressive structures are tangible. They are made of strong material, carved to loom above the common populace. When you look up, you realize the depth of man's insignificance. Happiness? What can measure happiness? How many smiles I send per day? Oh, let's not forget the first world dream, living in a mansion with a ferry and thousands of servants. Nothing brings happiness, but so much brings away. Ave. This is just a meaningless shell for time. But I'll take it. He's starting to warm up, and weirdly enough, so am I. Maybe happiness is subjective, but Ave, does it really bring fulfillment? Doesn't it? Haven't you ever stood on the precipice of a great chasm and just thought, I could just die happy at this moment? It's an unparalleled feeling in the world, child. You seem to be regarding me with skepticism.
Then, pray tell, what is your opinion? What makes you happy in the foolish little world? What makes me happy? Something about the question seems to be a trap. Is he waiting for something to use against me? Is it time for another layer of psychological warfare? My friends, I could say. My friends make me happy. Then he'd point out how none of them were here, how I've endangered the only one who mattered, how friends are simply an arbitrary term for a circle of useless acquaintances. All I would feel is despair. Then what else could I offer as an answer? Being alive to do what? Feel and experience everything that life has to offer. Then Ryota would say that if the gift of life is enough to bring happiness, then everyone should always be happy. The slave beneath a whip, the trafficked girl in a brothel, the prisoner of war on a rock. And again, I would only feel despair. What makes me happy? What fuels me to get up in the morning and keep going? Altruism, hardly. I think most people in the world are pretty stupid and don't deserve to live. Love? Yeah, as if I'm a fountain of affection. What is there to fuel me? What makes me happy? Anything I think of. I know that Ryota can warp and use against me. He'll try to break me with my own words.
Have I been caught? A shame we had to meet under these circumstances, child. Your mental faculties are truly impressive. Do you understand the theme of my lecture?
I can say I do. Will there be a study guide?
You're already in the test, boy. I'm afraid it's too late. Simply put, he who has the most drive has the most strength, and he who has the most strength has the most power. Look at you. You can't even tell me what makes you happy, whereas I gave a confident answer. Why do you suppose that you are so powerless, while here I stand invincible? He even took my lack of answer and used it against me. I tried to tell myself that it was the right decision. Are you saying that you won? I'm just reporting facts. But even if I'm weaker, I can still beat you. I already beat you. Nobody was supposed to know that you were responsible for the killings. The recent ones or the independent ones. Ryota stops in his tracks, his eyes glinting. Well, whatever the independent killings were, it looks like he really was the person behind them. It's a briefer that I desperately says. I try to cover my fatigue by flinging a challenging look in his direction. You've been busier than I thought. Doesn't seem to be too hard. People don't tend to expect much of me. But you've even made friends in high places, huh? High places. This throws me for a loop. What does he mean by high places? I got that information from Natsuki and she lives in a shabby apartment in District 6. No, I can't be distracted. I have to keep the conversation up, make him lose track of time. Just how many people have you killed? Aztecs had this remarkable belief system. Would you like to hear it? I just asked the question. In order to repair the gods to keep the universe running smoothly, they were to offer constant human sacrifices. Priests would rip out the hearts of prisoners of war while they were yet alive. If they slacked in performing the ritual, the kingdom as they knew it would fall to pieces.
That's why you keep Isamu running. What kind of reason is that?
What do you think? I'm depressed? His voice drops and takes on a tint of something unfamiliar. My spine tingles in apprehension. I'm not depressed, child. I'm the god. I receive bloody offerings. I do not give them myself. This city must earn my goodwill, lest I paint the streets red with my vengeance. The ones who scorned me will be obliterated by the very word of their own mouth. Oh, dear child, you know nothing of the beauty of pure, unadulterated strength. Open my mouth, willing a snarky remark to come forth, but there is nothing. My hands are shaking, tightened against my throbbing stomach. What kind of madness has seized this guy? I straighten and open my mouth wider, hoping that something will come out, anything. If I don't say anything, if I don't distract him, even if it means I have to listen to more of his insanity. Your antics amuse me, boy, but our intermission must come to an end. We must return to our game. Too late. The opportunity's been lost, and now I'm rattled and I can't recover. In terms of psychological damage, he's won handily. I don't think it could have happened any other way. Like a puppet master overseeing a play, he has total control over every scene. Well, boy, it's your turn. What's your move?
Right, the game kind of gives hints when to stop stalling. So let's stall now. I can't keep hitting her. It's a pity that life doesn't change, whether you can or can't do something. God damn it. Why? Did that happen to you?
Oh, are we having a little heart-to-heart?
Then something must have happened, something that turned you pretty bitter.
You'd love it if that were true. Would you hurry up, clock's ticking, boy?
Right, if he said that, I might consider this as a hint that I shouldn't try to stall it. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I have no other option, I have to just follow along. My hands shake as I step closer, raising the pipe. Maybe I can get away with hitting softer? No, it's a dumb idea. I know it's a dumb idea, Ryota would immediately know, and then it made me hit her again. And close my eyes, might I still kill her if my aim is off. So I keep them wide open until the air pulse tears out of them. Then I swing the pipe. Her arms hang limply over the edge of the chair, bent in an unusual angle that raises bile to my throat. How must she be feeling at this moment? How can she stand it? Held captive for no reason, every nerve screaming fire at her, begging her consciousness to fade, but finding no relief. How can she live through that kind of miserable existence? Say, kid, you're not looking too hot. Wanna call it in a sick day? I doubt that's an option. I want to say something unaffected and cynical, something that keeps me safe from the mess of the world. Instead, my mouth opens to pull up a topic to divert the conversation. You said you kill people for fun, essentially?
Oh, does that bother you?
I assume it would bother most people. But if I remember correctly, the Aztecs, well, they killed other strong warriors to transfer that strength to a son. So, what made you turn on a bunch of helpless students? Even as I ask the question, the inner crevices of my mind whisper quietly, is it worth it? Isn't this just prolonging an agonizing demise? But what other option is there? Come to think of it, earlier you mentioned being an executioner.
Good observation, kid. Let's just say that it's no coincidence that all the victims are connected to the Ikari's son, huh?
Have fun, you're about to join that number. This makes me falter. Of course, if Yahiko isn't a killer, but has a connection to every single victim, it has to be bear significance. Sorry. How could I have overlooked that? What do you even have against Yahiko? He's harmless, he's gentle, he feels like a little kid in a broken world, something so stupidly innocent that it's refreshing.
I have nothing against Yahiko, you're asking the question.
He has nothing against him, but he's killing people close to him. That's an incredible drastic maneuver. Why would a serial killer suddenly focus his attentions on someone like Yahiko? Parents. No matter how I think, the answer eludes me. But I can't falter, I can't let him remember continue game. Think. If I were Ryota, if I were some psychotic man who loved to kill people, no, inflict extreme agony, then why would I do such thing? What is Yahiko that I'm not? What does Yahiko have that I don't? Money! Yahiko is arrogant, dreamer, easy, excitable, oblivious. No, these are personal traits. Think deeper, motive. They carry son, Ryota, said before. They carries. If it doesn't have to do with past history, they don't really know each other that well after all, then is it because of money? Money, connections. Yahiko is the son of two higher-ups at Lemon State. If Ryota doesn't have anything against Yahiko, then could he have something against his parents? If you were aiming for Yahiko's parents, it seems a lot more effective to target the people around them.
Still have that brain of yours, I see.
Yeah and no. Yeah, since Yahiko is just an easy venue to his parents. But targeting the people around the parents themselves, instant suspicion, not to mention artless and cliché. I thought you'd be smarter than that. A little thought bothers me. Why is he so open with this information? No, I don't have time to consider this right now, I just have to accept it. Think more, I am Ryota, even now I want to see blood, to hear screams, No, something is clashing. Students aren't a challenge, they are too easy for me. They're rusty pests. Their deaths are simple and insignificant. They will be remembered for, what, a day, 2, perhaps 5 years by their families. But eventually they will fade into inconsequential nothingness because they are young and meaningless. Another tally in a long list of missing persons. Whereas if I could get my hands on a politician or a world leader or even a company executive. Mourning for weeks, months, years, remembered in history books. The man who killed the king or the president or the emperor, I shall make my mark on sight forever, a beautiful thread filling up the space of an three-sided tapestry. But instead, I've decided to kill students, to capture insignificant little rodents, just to put pressure on the Ikari family. What a joke, why am I even doing this? The Ikari family is threatening? No, certainly my judgment would be more swift. I would care not about my own death as long as I could have them suffer first. Were they threatening me? I would see them in their rooms the next night with a knife in my hand and a grin on my face. Capital punishment would be insignificant. I would face the chopping blow gladly in that case. Money. Perhaps someone is commissioning me with a monetary incentive. As if I am paid in blood. Currency is of little value to my side. If I really needed to pocket change, a few black market inquiries would do. Perhaps I need something money cannot buy. Something that only a certain commissioner has. And the only way to get this is to pressure the Ikaris, even if it means killing rabbits. To do that I started with someone only slightly related to Yahiko, Midori Maeno. They would not even notice. Yahiko may mourn the compassionate imbecile, but to the Ikaris, it is just an insignificant disappearance. Then Toba Hayashi, who interacted with their son on a greater level, in the orientation group that Yahiko led. That may raise some eyebrows and call for suspicion, but nothing that the Ikaris can prove. Next is Akane Tsukino, girlfriend of Shoji, who was close to Yahiko due to Happy Cup. Shoji himself followed thereafter. A spread of people with Yahiko Ikari as its center. The poor soul would not understand what was going on, but surely his parents would. And in return I would receive something of enormous value, something that money cannot buy. Even if it means that I must sacrifice a portion of my dignity. Yeah, Woohoo! Yama! You're on someone else's payroll. You are a freelancer with a client? You are an artist, you have no satisfaction. How the mighty have fallen, once a predator feared by all, able to strike whenever and wherever he so pleased. Now a mindless guillotine with no will of its own. How great is your greed that you would betray your love of art for this. But oh you fool, you conquered dogs and rats. Silence! His voice steams in of ice, and I feel his psyche writing in humiliation, and it just so thrilling. When they screamed, how easy it must have been to forget. Just as a man can distract himself with symphonies, so can he distract himself with agony. But when you returned, when you lay your head on your pillow, you must have realized the bitterness of your own insignificance. Rabbits, punks, you are a pest control. Do not test me, boy! But I'm caught up in the euphoria, a welcome distraction from the never-ending cycle of pain and panic that plagued me before. Selling your soul for a delusion? A pittance. Do you never wish to go back to happier times? A time where you were a shadow with a name? The independent killings, nothing is more fearsome than the unknown. The people who knew about them, were they terrified? Did they huddle in their beds every night, unable to sleep, thinking that they could be next? Did it stroke your ego, knowing that the one who held their fate in his hands was you? Or were those killings also at the discretion of your employer? Were there further connections that the police simply could not deduce? Was that also a crime of a commission? Ryota grits his teeth and digs his fingers into the nearest desk, but he doesn't say a word. Then I'm right about everything. Here you are, the fearsome Cerberus, yet you are bound to a pathetic little leash, caught up in corporate politics at that, where there is nothing but wigwigs bickering like toddlers. What exactly do you need so badly? I can't imagine you'd be craving love or friendship. Give me a quick reminder. What else can money do not buy? Respect? Naturally good looks? Oh, peace of mind? Or say, an honest politician? Motives, Ryota. Motives are interesting things, aren't they? Everybody likes to think that their motive is special and unique, but in the end, they are all the same. Money, love, power. Which of those apply to you? Or do you still think that you're all that special? That you're something more than an empty little puppet dancing from the strings of someone's fingers? Hehehe. What a sick existence. What an agonizing, wonderfully meaningless existence. Yama, stop it! This is not winning! Rui's voice shocks me out of character, like a fish suddenly pulled out of water. I stand idly for a moment, my mind blank. Not winning? Of course. I wanted to win over Ryota. I wanted it so badly that I even became Ryota, and I let myself stay as him, even though I despised him more than I ever despised anyone. But even that isn't winning, that's just losing. Because to become Ryota would just be to win the battle and lose the war. I'm already inflicting injury on innocent students with a metal pipe, just like Ryota would. If I lost my own mind. Cute display, kid, real cute. He's smiling assuredly. I already recovered. His voice is calm, but I catch a note of tension that wasn't there before. I get the impression that I made a terrible mistake, and if I had proceeded, well, he would have snapped. What would happen if he snapped? Would we all look like these two students bound to their chairs, broken, helpless, planning for death? I shouldn't have tried. But what else should I have done? Just gone along with the status quo. Would that have resulted in anything different? Know what's interesting? You're still missing something, aren't you? You think you've read the whole book. You think you know how it ends. You think you know the whole pattern. But you're still blind. You see out of one eye, boy, but not the other. Missing part of the pattern. I don't understand. Think harder, boy. So, the sequence of deaths was to do with the Yahiko. So what? So what? The broken gear in the back of my mind slowly begins to churn forward. Right, all the deaths revolve around Yahiko. Specifically over time, those deaths have gotten closer and closer to their epicenter, almost like a whirlpool sucking in its surroundings. Closer to Yahiko. Within the school, the closest people to Yahiko. Oh. Army, Rui and Masato. The inseparable gang that hangs out together, day in day out, flailing through life with a bunch of rambunctious high school shenanigans. Of course, that was why he'd instantly picked up the phone. That was why he'd been prepared for my call. That was why he'd kidnapped Rui. Because we were already the next ones on his list. No. Oh, that was quick, congratulations. To be honest, boy, that Kurogane boy should be here too. But, guess what? He goes to bed too early. Out like a light. Dance for his phone. I even prepared my whole excuse and everything. I suddenly feel so very tired. I wave down. My intellect is fraying away. I can feel my sanity bleeding out of my body. Just let it end. It was all planned from the very beginning. I can't keep holding out. I can't prolong this misery. I try to one-up Ryota and I only end up in a worse state than before. If that trend continues, my eyes drift aimlessly to the ground, the pipe swaying limply between my fingers. Blood, dripping quietly from the chairs. A small amount, a terrifyingly small amount, given how much damage we inflicted. How much internal bleeding must there be, how much pain. Now I know Ryona's motive and history, so what? I'm still an accomplice in manslaughter, bit by bit, wiping out the opportunities in this girl's life. The dream of playing on a sports team. The dream of being a pianist. The dream of marrying a normal guy and having normal kids. Shamelessly and brutally striking those dreams from existence with no method of recovery. She's someone who actually has opportunity in life, and they're being taken away by someone else. And the injustice of the world. You'd better be grateful that I'm patient, man. A lesser being would have peeled your forearm in layers for your insolence. The mental image pulsing in front of my eyes, and I stumbled backward, noses surging to my throat. That's right, I'm just a kid trying to fight a seasoned serial killer. What was I thinking? I use my hands and push against the desk, shakily trying to prop myself on my feet. I only collapse bonelessly to the ground, legs like gelatin. I can't continue this way, not much longer. I see blood on the edge of the pipe in my hands. Blood that's not there. Blood that I know isn't there. Blood that still whips down the metal and coats my hands. All is silence, save for the strangled sobs of two injured children. Two dying siblings, side by side. I'm sorry.
Well, guess it's my turn again. You know, I'm really giving you an advantage here by going first. Now you'll always be on one hit ahead.
Please, let's just stop. He ignores my faint whisper and steps forward, adjusting his grip on the pipe. The boy whimpers, incomprehensible words spilling out of his mouth.
Sorry, kids, but the world doesn't listen to begging, and neither will I.
He swings the pipe with vindictive justice, perhaps a payback for my insolence. I flinch instinctively this time, barely missing the moment of impact. And then a chair scratching against the ground, the piercing scream that rends the air, a light, sweet chuckle from a man who's lost his mind. As I force my eyes open, I catch a familiar pungent smell. Vomit, dripping from the boy's mouth, pooling over the sides of his chair to the floor below. My stomach turns over, my grip rattles against the pipe.
Oh yeah, this is life, children. The beauty of pain has no substitute.
I step forward, forcing words out of my dry mouth. We need to stop. I can't handle this. Ryota swivels on me, the joy in his eyes immensely dissipating.
We're just getting to the good part. You saying you're gonna forfeit? Quitters never prosper, boy, and you wonder why you've never prospered?
I drop to my knees, harder than I intend. The shakiness of my limbs gives my legs a solid blow against the ground. This is no longer an act, groveling and showing vulnerability. It's not just another strategy anymore. I have no other way out, no other hope. Please, don't do this.
Do what?
I can't find the word, so I can only sweep my hand around the room.
All of this, the whole captivity thing in the game, the fun.
I manage a nod.
Then will you lick my shoe?
He stamps a foot in the puddle of the boy's vomit, shaking it teasingly at me. I don't make a move.
I'm waiting.
Open mouth, fighting for words. Nothing comes. The vomit gleams on the sole of his shoe, mocking me. Rui makes an instinctive sound of distress, gripping her chair with whitened hands. I stare at the shoe, willing myself to lean forward. I don't move.
You see, boy, you're not ready to lean back. Why? Because you're still clinging to pride, pathetic as it is. Some part of you believes that you still have control over the situation. Some part of you believes that some miracle will bait you out. If you are really ready to back, if you really threw away your pride, you wouldn't be aiming for the limbs. No. When you hold that pipe, you would be aiming right at the skull. This is your only hope right now. The only hope of all of you, death. But something for you. I don't like to rush my executions. It's just such a waste.
I shakily clamber to my feet, waving my arms on the table to pull myself up. Pride, belief, control over the situation. Where have any of those things? Maybe he's right. Maybe if I really was hopeless, I would have already crushed 2 skulls and resigned myself to a long, excruciating death. But here I stand, with a pipe, ready to hit again. Why?
So, now that your little dramatic stint has ended, I believe it's time for your turn!
He tilts his knife against the moonlight in Rui's direction, sending a fresh reminder of the stakes. Okay, stall? Is it a good idea? So, you don't like to rush?
I know you're the tricks boy, and I'm not in the mood to turn them.
Okay. God damn it. So much pressure. Like, literally. I'm afraid of clicking anything. I grip the pipe, arm shaking as I raise it over my shoulder. But aren't you stuck here forever? The fight isn't getting too tiring. Aren't you exhausted? You are not strong enough to face this. I shake my head and squeeze my eyes shut, trying to knock the voice out of my head. We can't do this, Yama! This is wrong, we can't! I swipe the pipe.
No!
The pipe drops out of my shaking fingers. I lean heavily against the nearest desk. My knee is too weak to support my weight. I can do this.
Oh, sure you can. You are doing great.
Ryota lifts the pipe over the boy, whose face is coated in a mixture of sweat and tears, slicking his hair against his forehead. The boy's eyes slide to mine, begging silently, hating the day he was born. Ryota sends an icy smirk with a sheen of madness, reminding me of my earlier behavior. Payback, he seems to be saying. But I do nothing.
Ah!
The note is raw that time, raw from an overused throat that's been screaming far more than it should. When it descends to silence, I can hear the breaths of the two students rattling in their lungs, shallow and anguished. Blood is starting to trickle from their mouths, slowly down the corner of their jaw and dripping onto the pristine uniforms. Death would be the far better option. How much time has passed? It feels like days, stretched out and pushed against each other. Practically, I know that it can be more than a few hours. The sun hasn't started rising yet, but holding out for this long only seems like delaying the inevitable. And in the meantime, harming innocence along the way. Why did it have to be you?
Who? Be specific, boy.
I wished I was you.
Shape up and tell me. I'm being really helps to me and no one.
You shouldn't have been the killer, Ryota. He was supposed to help me. To get me through school, through drama, through life. Not this, never this. Alright. Stall. I thought that you were with us.
Why do you feel betrayed?
Stall. I thought of all people it wouldn't be you.
Unfortunately, that is a fault in your own thinking.
Stall. But why? Why you?
You know nothing, boy. Quit your drawling.
Fuck. Now what do I do? What did you say, by the way? You know nothing, boy. Quit your dawdling. Oh, fuck. Alright. I don't like this option. God damn it. One more time. No, this thing. But why you? You know nothing, boy. Quit your dawdling. Quit your dawdling. I really want to continue with trying to get something out of him. But I think it might be a bad idea to stall again. How many times did I stall actually? 3. I think there wasn't any option that we stalled for more than 3 times earlier, so... Oh, I will fucking regret it. Okay. I raise the pipe, but my grip falters as my eyes turn to the girl. She no longer has hate in her gaze. She doesn't even have the slightest hint of anguish. Everything is just empty. I whisper it again, the trivial excuse that has done nothing to help the situation. I'm sorry? This time, though, she responds, quietly moving nothing but her mouth. I know. And I swing the pipe. The blow rebounds against my arms as the bone of her leg fractures beneath the hard metal. The resulting screams is just another repeat, another skip on a broken record player. I falter backward, the pipe rubbing my hands raw. Reminds me that every bent limb, every cry of pain, is all my own doing. No one held my arm, no one spun the pipe. Every blow was my choice. No one bears that blame but me. And I don't know if I can continue to hold on. There is no sign of sirens in the distance, no janitor making his rounds, not even a student inside. Just 4 teenagers and a serial killer with a knife. That and one solid pipe in my hands. I could say that I don't know what to do, I could say that I'm helpless. But it would be far more accurate to say that I know exactly what to do and I'm just too scared to do it.
Well, no begging this time, I am also disappointed.
He strikes the boy again, a brutal blow that crushes his fingers. The boy retches as he screeches, choking on his own vomit, the wet, crumpled cough that results in far more painful to hear than a scream. It's the sound of a human who is slowly dying. Stop it, please, someone. I step to the side of the girl, gripping the pipe so tightly that its rough patches begin to dig into my palms. I've gathered enough time. I've tried my best. The police aren't coming. In a situation where there should have been a way out, any way out, there is none. The only relief I can bring is by murdering as many of these students as I can. Murder. I've heard so many times that talking alive changes you. That once you get blood on your hands, you stop being human. Oh fuck, why do I have a bad feeling about this? A very bad feeling. Will that happen in this case, killing this girl, turning me into a monster? I just know there are 3 innocent students here, and if I don't do something, we'll be stuck in this never-ending cycle of agony. And it would have been better if they just died earlier. It would have been better if I just killed them earlier. I don't want this, but is there any other choice? I just want everyone to be okay. Seriously, can't you somehow place yourself so you can hit him while taking the swing? Or something like that. I know attacking would not solve this for sure. I hate myself for clicking this. But I falter. I stand stiffly, the pipe frozen in my hands. Should I just hit her without a killing blow and let the game continue? I can't kill her just to take the easy way out, but I don't think I can keep sustaining my sanity. It would be easy. Everything would be over. You don't need to bear this burden. That is what my mind is whispering to me, but I don't know whether to trust it or not. If I could see the ending, I would know. If we somehow end up getting out of this, then wouldn't she be glad to be alive, even with those injuries, because at least she has a second chance at life. This pain, suffering, it will hurt and it will scar, but maybe she could find her dream car, or marry a wonderful husband, something that just makes living worthwhile. But if we won't get out of this, if the only thing that's in store for us is an agonizing death, against which we're fighting in futility, it would have been better if I just killed her in the very first stroke. How can I make that judgment? How can I possibly predict that burden? Can I really choose to end someone's life with my own hands? I can't see the ending, and I don't understand fate. I wish I could know the answer, but there is nothing for me. No one can see the future.
If you don't win longer get, re-guess the short end of the stick.
Or the pipe, however you prefer to say it. No more time, no more chances. I've held out as long as I could. I raised the pipe over my head, aiming it directly in line with the girl's skull. She smiles tremulously in understanding and closes her eyes. Acceptance. Perhaps even gratitude. Because somehow we've landed in a situation where a quick death is merciful. What if I had been faster? What if I had been smarter? If I had caught Ryota before today, none of this would have happened. Why did I sit still in one place and allow this to happen? My arms shake as I will them to the sand. I can't hesitate. I need to strike decisively. If I don't, the result would be only unconsciousness and a splitting headache and no clean death. This girl doesn't deserve to wake up again in this nightmare. No one does. And with that, I guess it's time to become a murderer. I raise the pipe even higher, counting softly in my head. 3. I'm sorry I wasn't enough. 2. I'm sorry you had to face this. 1. Damn! From outside the windows, live blasts into the classroom, followed by the shrill overtones of a megaphone.
Ryota! Stand down! You're surrounded!
Release the students or we'll shoot you! Am I hearing things? Is my mind so desperate for reprieve that it's throwing up whatever it can to stop my pipe? My eyes instinctively search out Ruiz. Her expression is a mess. Horror mixed with sorrow mixed with relief. It's real then. Shigure came. No, wait, it's not over. We're still in this room with Ryota. 2 students are still in a very dangerous position where they might lose their lives. I glance at Ryota. He's frozen in shock, his hands automatically patting down his pockets, searching for his phone. The phone that I'd smashed to pieces with a metal pipe. It just solidifies my suspicions. He would have been notified if I hadn't managed to break that phone. While Ryota's still in shock, we have to run. Now, he'll chase us. He won't be able to stop himself from chasing us. What about the other 2? I lock eyes with Rui, then jerk my head to the door. Thankfully, Ryota is still transfixed on the scene outside, mouth agape in disbelief. Rui quietly slides from her desk and sidles along the wall. Painful inch by painful inch, she comes closer. Hey! I immediately seize her hand and we tear off, running as fast as we can on shaky legs. We don't spare any words, we only shoot up the stairs, breaking on the rooftop. The smart thing for Ryota to do would be staying right where he is, using the 2 remaining students as hostages to secure his escape. But he probably won't do this. But he won't do that. He'll chase after us, furious, bowling anything out of his way to reach us in time. So at this moment, the best thing we can do is run.